Well, we're going, I'm born in Clarksville. Going down 49, see a small shotgun house and see all the land. So I asked my mother, why do people have these small houses and all that land?
Because they work the land.
So, you know, I didn't know the sharecropper issue. So that's born.
So this is what empirical data tell us. And you can extrapolate this to this conversation. Empirical data tell us that when we take students abroad for short periods of time, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, they don't have enough grounding to know what they're seeing.
Yeah, they're just on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you take them for a semester or a year, they can then process what they're seeing against their own experiences if they don't have the literature in front of them. But the literature also tells us that even the 2-week experience transforms them. It doesn't transform their knowledge necessarily, but it transforms their understanding about themselves and their place in the world. Which is why all of this is so hugely important, and which is why all of this is connected to the work that you will do first in the classrooms and the opportunities for our students to see when they go abroad or study away. So I think, Persephone, that you are able to teach this stuff. You know what else I think is true? As a teacher, you have to have a workload that makes sense. Okay? We're not here to discuss that. But
Okay.
you have to have a work about your workload.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, go
one
on.
of these, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever read this book called The Courage to Teach? You should read it. It's a phenomenal book. I read it last week. What is it?
Dr. McCarty,
Yes.
the Dork, is it Dorkin or Dorkin?
DWORKIN.
Hasn't he sort of changed the gospel during the last few years?
You have to teach them how to become young investigators. You know, literacy, information literacy. You have to teach them how to document the facts, how not to plagiarize them. You have to teach them how to think about the fact pattern. And there are simple ways of doing it. So I have today some newspaper articles on various ones of your analytical exercises. And some of them are too big. This is a small one. DeAndre, see if you can content analyze that for us in 5 minutes.
Which one?
The Cubans were freed. This is on Middle East talks. John, see if you can content analyze that for us in 5 minutes. Okay. This one is on the value of a global education. Robbie. This one is on reimagining the curriculum. This one, I'm giving them all to men.
Did you have?
We change the rules here. So we change the rules.
This one is on anti-Semitism.
We need that.
You should be last because that's very long. This one, you guys are too young to remember, but the guy who created the Fulbright program was Senator, Senator Fulbright, and he wrote a seminal article in 1966 called The Arrogance of Power. Content analyze that, please. And this one, oh, this is wonderful. This is President Obama's speech in Egypt. It's a great speech. It's just wonderful stuff. You can give that to your class to content analyze, and it's just wonderful stuff. All right. All of you are scholars, and so I know you're saying, where's mine? What am I to content analyze? Okay. Here? What's without one? This one is about political identity in Israel. Somebody doesn't want one.
I'll do the ads.
The ads.
The first thing we need to talk about is what does it mean to
Right.
All right, so let's talk about that. DeAndre, how do you content analyze anything? What do you look for? Fact patterns. You're looking for frequency and fact patterns. Okay? All right, so now, let's see. It's a simple frequency. How many times do certain phrases appear throughout the passage? What?
So small, I'm like,
Where do you have the speech?
Yeah, the
That
speech.
speech is so wonderful.
yeah, I'm like, it's so
Okay.
small, the type.
Oh.
Can somebody hold it right here for me?
That back row looks a little bit longer.
You were looking back here.
He's in your business. He's in your business.
They're suffering, aren't they?
I knew it. Yeah.
Okay, this is really good. This is on
Great at it.
the debate between the Belgians.
Sorry, I
One
don't know.
part of the Belgians insist on speaking Flemish and the other French. Okay. Please, go ahead. Have you started circling the patterns that you see? Yes, anything you want to with it. Have you finished, John?
Yes.
All righty, we'll start with you in just a minute. Give me a second.
I'm all right.
Oh, yeah. This is the Arizona law, immigration law. Just down that side.
It's all good. It's all good.
Here's the rest of it. Here's the rest of it. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what else I have.
Oh, yeah.
If you were teaching this to students, you just simply give them the highlighters and have them highlight the content, the frequency of it. If there are patterns that are emerging, they have to tell you what the patterns are and support it in the actual passage. And you can give them maybe a yellow or red or green marker if there are different patterns that they see. This is great. Okay. So, this is about citizens in Afghanistan being able to go to court and get justice of some sort. Does that mean you need one? Okay, I'm giving you the book review.
And so does Tom.
Thomas doesn't have one? He's
Put
just
some ads.
smiling.
It's all good.
Put some ads.
No, you don't want it?
Hey, I'm just,
Yeah, but he sent her back there too.
Yeah, profile.
nice on your profile.
Uh-huh.
I don't see one I like. Maybe here, yeah.
So what happened, it happened. I was too young to even appreciate the situation. But later, as I became older, and I began to see the injustice, I call it an injustice personally, of having someone throwing you out of your own land. And I guess the fault is not only the Israelites, the fault is the British, because they are the ones who created this situation. They created by allowing a mandate to go on and create and promise to the Israelites that they would give them a country in an area in which it was already populated by Palestinians.
That does not belong to them, that historically belonged to the Palestinians. And all of you know that for the most part, the solution that our government has supported is called what?
Tuesday.
A two-state solution. Okay. This is the first time that your students have heard of this thing. Some of them, it will be their first time because they don't read newspapers. All right? So you're trying to teach the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to them. What are you going to teach? What is the conflict about? Is it about religion? Is it about language? Is it about land? Is it about power? Is it about identity? Which identities? Because I've named 3 already. Language, religion, and land. Which identities?
Race.
Race? Tell me about race.
The Jew. What I have here.
The Jew? The Jew is a race?
The Jew versus.
Is the Jew a race?
No, it's a, you have to be
What is it?
Semite.
That's the way.
No.
The Jew is.
What is it?
It's a national. It's a nationality.
It's a what? It's a religion.
It's a nation. Okay, it's a nation. But they're converting today. It's a nation.
But you see it as a race, don't you?
Yes, the way it has been
How
presented.
many of you see it as a race?
The way it has
How
been
many of you see it as a
presented.
racial question?
From the history.
So you see it as a racial question. Interesting.
From the Holocaust, I saw that someone wanted to eliminate a race.
Ah.
That's how I've always known it from.
Ah.
Yes, someone wanted to exterminate a race.
Ah.
And so the Jewish race has even.
Now, you're gonna take the framing of the oppressor to define the conflict. That's what you just did. Right? Certainly, first of all, about a personal story of being a Muslim, having a Muslim father, and all of that. Understanding the ways in which Muslims have contributed to the world. Understanding the ways in which an acceptable peace settlement will mean more to the stability of the world and to this country than anything else that we might possibly do. So sort of a new understanding about national security. And that's the other thing. If you're brave enough to teach the concept of national security to your freshman students, please do so well and creatively. You can take any of these questions and ask yourself, is there a national security interest here? Look at immigration. Is there? There is. What is it? Let the students decide. Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Is there a national interest here? There is. What is it? Let the students decide. What is in our national interest? Anyone can teach this subject matter. You can teach it creatively. You can teach it so that you advance students' understanding of how to become researchers. And you can teach it so that they're able to stand on their feet and articulate a view and then turn their backs. Have you ever seen kids do simulations? Where they'll stand like as I'm standing in front of you and I'll take one perspective. Then you'll turn as in drama. You put on new clothes, on your face. And you take just the opposite perspective. And you do each equally well, right? And then you have a third person who interrogates both perspectives, and the student has to stand there and defend both views, right? And they come to a place where they say, okay, I think this is a better justification. But that kind of role playing in a freshman class can be really, really engaging, right? So give yourself an opportunity to teach students so that they want to learn this stuff. Because when you first, I remember, DeAndre, when I first brought this subject of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to my American government class, where there's only one chapter on international relations, it's at the end of the textbook, right? I brought it to the front of the textbook to explain what is meant by national interest.